Terence Spence, rooting him on.
Yeah.
You know, I just like to support, fighters in his own right.
Feel like Errol, even though we haven't seen him in 3 years now, I think he still has more than enough to beat Tim.
I told him to his face.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But it's cool.
Terence Crawford has sent a clear warning to Tim Tszyu before his fight with Errol Spence, saying people should not underestimate Spence because the version stepping into the ring is not the same fighter many believe they already understand.
Steady movements and fluid movements, that's what he's giving you. Like, he's not in an actual fight. It's like, I could tell immediately who's been around the sport as opposed to...
After Terence Crawford defeated Errol Spence, many fans began to question whether Spence was still the same fighter, with some believing he had declined or lost his best form. However, Crawford understands better than anyone how dangerous Spence can be when he is fully focused, which is why his warning to Tim Tszyu carries real weight. His message is that Spence should never be underestimated, and if Tszyu enters the fight expecting an easy opponent, he could be setting himself up for a major surprise.
But I don't understand why people take it so hurtful. When we in like England and places like that, or overseas, like they tell you, and it's okay. Like, hey, you're a great fighter, but I think he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it's all cool. It's just a opinion that they have on one fight. It's cool.
Tim Tszyu may be strong and full of confidence, but Errol Spence still brings years of experience, constant pressure, powerful body shots, and the toughness of a true champion. When Terence Crawford tells someone to be careful, his words carry real value because he has already faced Spence in the ring, understands his strengths better than most, and knows exactly the kind of challenge Tim could be facing. Seeing Errol Spence back in training has changed the way many people view this fight. He is not preparing like someone who is simply returning to compete, but like a fighter determined to prove he is still one of the best after his loss to Terence Crawford. His intense workouts, strong body attack, excellent conditioning, and relentless forward style are the same qualities that made him a top champion for years. Watching him train again puts even more pressure on Tim Tszyu ahead of their showdown. Tim Tszyu has to prepare for the best version of Errol Spence, not the one some fans have written off after a single loss. Spence is still a former champion with the skills and strength to wear opponents down once he finds his rhythm. If he enters the ring fully focused, motivated, and in top physical condition, Tszyu will not be facing an easy comeback opponent. He will be stepping into a tough and dangerous fight. Boxing Ego reacted to Errol Spence's comeback by saying this fight will show how much the former champion still has left. He believes Spence remains a respected name with plenty of experience, and if he returns healthy, focused, and motivated, he can still be a serious threat. The biggest question is not what Spence achieved in the past, but whether he still has the speed, timing, physical condition, and desire to compete at the highest level. That is what makes a fight against Tim Tszyu so exciting. Tszyu is younger, active, powerful, and confident, and he will not be intimidated by Spence's reputation. However, Spence's relentless pressure, damaging body shots, proven toughness, and championship experience could push Tszyu in ways he has never faced before.
My knowledge, I heard Errol Spence doesn't drink anymore. which is also a plus. He settled that down, and looks like the weight melted off him. He looks very lean, very focused, as he should be, because really it's a crossroads fight for him and Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu has taken some losses, been stopped by Fundora, by Murtazaev. So this is kind of must-win territory for both fighters.
Errol Spence training with Ronnie Shields makes his comeback look even more serious. This is not just a few pad sessions for social media, but a focused effort to prepare the right way. By working with an experienced trainer like Shields, Spence is building his comeback with discipline, structure, and expert guidance. The goal is not only to improve his power or look impressive in training clips, but also to sharpen his timing, balance, defense, conditioning, and bring back the habits that helped make him one of boxing's most dangerous champions.
And you look, he got a little bit of sweat, a little bit of sheen to him. Working with Ronnie Shields, legendary trainer. His back looking brolic. Got some snap to the punches. Yeah, we working. I love it. I love what I'm seeing. Look, in shape. This look like old school Errol. I'm telling you. It looked, I mean, obviously he's older, right? He's no longer in his 20s, but I mean, look at it. Look at his back. So he not.
Even Andre Ward continues to show great respect for Errol Spence, proving that his comeback should not be overlooked. Ward knows exactly what Spence brought to the sport before losing to Terence Crawford. His relentless pressure, disciplined approach, powerful body attacks, physical strength, and ability to wear opponents down over every round made him one of boxing's most respected champions. When someone with Ward's experience speaks so highly of Spence, it is not just because of his reputation, but because he understands how difficult it is to compete against that style at the highest level.
Errol Spence is a boxing brother to me. He's somebody that I have a lot of respect for, his fight game, how he approached the fights, and just how he's carried himself. And again, he's made mistakes and he's open about that. But, you know, we've been talking for 3 years off and on, checking on him, you know, he reaching out to me, the whole nine. And so there's a comfortability there, and there's also a respect level there. So when we sit down a lot of times on the Art of War, man, went back home and got into his family and became a better family man and spent more time with his kids, allowed his body to heal, his mind to heal. And he started making some tough decisions about, do I want to come back or not come back? You don't wait 3 years to start making excuses, right? And I'm seeing these YouTubers now, right? And I don't know what to call y'all. I don't know what to call y'all. Y'all not media. To me, y'all are, and not all of y'all, because there's some guys that are YouTubers that are building a platform, Roy, and they trying to just, you know, get some motion and just build what they do. And they doing a great job. And I don't have no names off the top of my head, but I've seen guys and I'm like.
Tim Tszyu training with Jeff Fenech and his team ahead of the Errol Spence fight makes this matchup feel even more important. This is not just a regular training camp, but a focused preparation with a former champion who understands pressure, toughness, and what it takes to succeed at the highest level. Tszyu knows Spence is not an opponent you can beat by looking good for only a few rounds. He must be ready for relentless pressure, hard body shots, and a demanding pace that can wear fighters down over time. Working with Fenech shows that Tszyu is preparing for the best version of Spence, not the one some fans have doubted since the Terence Crawford loss, but a former champion with pride, experience, and a strong desire to prove himself again. This camp is a big step because Tszyu understands that defeating Spence would be more than just another victory. It would be a powerful statement that he is ready to lead the division. Ahead of the Errol Spence fight, Jeff Fenech delivered a strong message, making it clear that Tim Tszyu must improve in several areas if he wants to win. His comments show that he is focused on real preparation, not empty praise or typical trainer talk. Fenech believes Tszyu needs to sharpen his defense, footwork, discipline, timing, and ability to handle pressure because Spence is the type of opponent who takes advantage of every mistake. While Tszyu already has toughness, power, and confidence, Fenech knows those qualities alone will not be enough. Spence can attack the body, cut off the ring, and slowly force opponents into his style of fight, so Tszyu must fix any weaknesses now before they become costly on fight night.
There's a lot that needs to change, but you can't change a lot in a couple of months. So I'm just trying to change a few of the little important things I think that need to be changed. It's going to make him better on the day, and give him less opportunity to.
Jeff Fenech knows many people are judging Errol Spence based only on his loss to Terence Crawford, but he believes that is a dangerous mistake. Spence still has championship experience, solid fundamentals, excellent body punching, relentless pressure, and the toughness that made him one of boxing's top fighters for many years. Fenech's message is clear. If Tim Tszyu enters the fight believing Spence is no longer a threat, he could end up making costly mistakes. That is why Fenech is demanding improvements throughout training camp. He understands that beating Spence requires discipline from the opening bell to the final round, and Tszyu cannot depend on power and toughness alone. He has to be focused, precise, and sharp every step of the way.
I didn't get touched. And it ended nice and early.
Errol Spence called you disrespectful on a podcast this week. Do you have any response to those comments?
Nah, that's all right. He talks it up and whatever. It is what it is. I'm not getting into that talk shit type of smack anymore. You know, it's I'm just here to cause pain.
Shakur Stevens said this week that he hopes Spence beats you up. What do you make of those comments as well?
That's another one, another hater. What can you say? I actually like Shakur Stevenson, but I do rate Tank Davis better. So.
Shane Mosley shared his thoughts on the Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence matchup, saying it will be a true test for both fighters. He understands how dangerous Spence can be when he is at his best, using his strength, physical style, constant pressure, and powerful body attacks to control a fight. Mosley does not believe Tim Tszyu can overlook Spence simply because of his loss to Terence Crawford, as he still sees the former champion as a serious threat capable of making any opponent earn every round.
You fought Terence Crawford, you was falling down, you couldn't really take the shots after the car thing, you know what I'm saying? How well, like, are you damaging your body? I don't know. We will see when he fights. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, people are excited for it, but in the same time, a lot of people say that Errol Spence is in a different league than a Tim Tszyu. But Tim Tszyu, I mean,
Tim Tszyu can fight, and Tim Tszyu's in a good league too. He ain't in a bad league. Tim Tszyu can fight.
There you go.
But I think that what they're trying to do is if they can beat Tim Tszyu, they're gonna go after what's the tall kid's name again?
Shane Mosley also knows why Tim Tszyu is such a dangerous opponent. Tszyu is younger, active, confident, and always moves forward with complete belief in his power. He fights without fear, which can create serious problems for a boxer returning after a major defeat. Mosley's message is clear. If Errol Spence comes into the fight healthy, focused, and performing at his best, Tim will face one of the toughest challenges of his career. But if Spence has lost a step since his last fight, Tszyu has the pressure, confidence, and determination to expose those weaknesses quickly.
Is in Australia, we got the return of Errol Spence going to be fighting Tim Tszyu. I mean, what do you think about that? You know, his comeback.
Man, is he all the way ready? I mean,
he's looking good, he's strong. He's working with Rodney Shields right now.
Okay, but is he really? He's strong, hitting the bag and stuff. But what about receiving?
The receipts, yeah, I don't know.
What about the receipts? How's his body gonna take the receipts? And we see how good look getting hit. I mean, hitting. What about getting hit back?
Yeah, this ain't a bodybuilding show.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Some people really believe in Spence in this fight. I mean, actually, Robert Garcia is kind of insinuating similar things that you're saying. You know, is he really the Errol?
Mikey Garcia believes the Tim Tszyu versus Errol Spence matchup is a dangerous fight for both men because he has already faced Spence and knows exactly how difficult he can be at his best. He has experienced Spence's relentless pressure, powerful body attacks, physical strength, and ability to keep opponents working every second of the fight. That is why Mikey would never see Tszyu as facing an easy version of Spence simply because of the loss to Terence Crawford. At the same time, he knows timing is important. Spence is returning with questions about his current form, while Tszyu is younger, active, motivated, and eager to prove he belongs among boxing's biggest stars. His view is straightforward. If Spence is still physically sharp, his experience and pressure can create major problems for Tszyu. But if he is no longer the same fighter, Tszyu has the youth, power, and confidence to make Spence's comeback extremely difficult.
Spence hasn't fought in what, like 2 years?
Since
maybe?
the Crawford fight, yeah.
3 years, maybe 2 years. That's a good fight for him to come back because Tim Tszyu is also not at his prime anymore. He's been hurt, he's been knocked out. So that's actually a pretty good matchup for a return. It's also a good matchup for Tim. If he beats Errol Spence,
big name,
he gets another shot at something bigger. So that's a good matchup for both, actually. But he's going to Australia, so that's a little iffy there.
No, plus when you travel that far, it takes a long time to adjust to the weather, the food, the time. Yeah,
it could be a little tricky, but matchup-wise.
Bernie the boxer believes Errol Spence is still a respected former champion with the experience, relentless pressure, and powerful bodywork to trouble any opponent. He does not think Spence suddenly lost his ability after the Terence Crawford defeat, and if he returns healthy, focused, and well-prepared under Ronnie Shields, he can still make life very difficult in the ring. At the same time, Bernie understands why Tim Tszyu is such a serious threat. Tszyu is active, motivated, and training with the mindset that beating Spence could take his career to another level. With Jeff Fenech demanding improvements throughout camp, it is clear Tszyu is preparing for the best version of Spence. Bernie's message is clear. If Spence still has his timing, strength, and sharpness, Tszyu will face a tough challenge. But if the Crawford loss affected him more than expected, Tszyu has the skills and confidence to expose those weaknesses quickly.
Fight. It ain't a tune-up, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's a good little fight for him. Man been out 3 years. Tim Tszyu been active. Former world champion. He ain't going to get nobody we don't know. I can't take nothing. I can't do nothing but salute him, take my hat off for him, and see how he go to work. I think he gonna be fine. He looked like he's in good shape. He ain't look all out of shape. He looked like, he looked good. He looked mentally all there. And I mean, shit, them little 3 years, like I said, I told him as soon as it happened, I said, okay, he had other stuff going on. Other stuff going on. That was a 5-year accumulation. A lot of stuff he did going through the rigmaroles with Bud, trying to figure out if they was going to fight and building up his reputation.
That is what makes Errol Spence's comeback so important. He is not returning against an easy opponent just to rebuild his confidence, but against Tim Tszyu, a young, active, powerful, and confident fighter who will test him from the opening bell. Tszyu will not be influenced by Spence's past achievements and will look to apply pressure, force the action, and find out if the loss to Terence Crawford changed him. However, Bernie the boxer believes people are making a mistake by writing Spence off too quickly. If Spence returns healthy, focused, and comfortable working with Ronnie Shields, he still has the skills that made him one of boxing's best, including relentless pressure, strong body punching, physical strength, discipline, and valuable experience. Those qualities do not disappear because of one defeat, especially against a fighter as talented as Crawford. That is why this matchup is so meaningful. Spence is not only fighting Tim Tszyu, but also trying to prove that his career is far from over. Every round will answer important questions about whether he can still handle pressure, maintain a high pace, break opponents down with body shots, and perform like the champion fans respected for so many years.
Like a viral clip of him, Tim Tszyu trying to shake his hand, and he's like, nah, I'm not shaking your hand. I've been hearing you talking shit, talking about you're going to retire me and all that. Did you see the clip?
No, I didn't see that. When they was in the hallway?
Yeah.
Don't pull it up, Neil. It's good. They was in the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what Tim Tszyu supposed to say. So I don't understand why everybody getting upset by stuff they supposed to say. That's what you're supposed to say. You my, but it's still, we still, you my peer, you still a fellow fighter, so I wouldn't take none of that stuff so seriously like that. Who give a fuck? He said he gonna retire me. Okay, we're gonna see when I beat his ass. Who cares? He said all right, I'm gonna end him. He already been almost in it. I'm gonna put him out for real. That's Errol Spence, right back. Okay, he said I'm gonna tell. Let's see. And he thought Beckham beat his ass. Wait till I beat his ass. You just hit him back. All that. But whatever it is,
I don't really get into none of that stuff. I don't even care. Like, I think they too sensitive, for real.
What do you think about the fight being at a catch weight of 158?
Oh, it ain't gonna be at 54.
No.
Oh, like I say, it's just the kid just going to get his feet wet. He going back into the ring. That's it. So it don't matter. He really was a middleweight anyway. So 58, that's middleweight. It's not junior middleweight. The limit is 54. So it's a good fight. Tszyu, I'm sure he had to lose a lot of weight to make weight too. So good little fight. Can't wait to see the fight. Errol Spence carrying the torch. Everybody want to see what he gonna do. Most anticipation in a long time. So I just want to see the fight. So I'm wishing him the best. It don't really move me whether he do good